Welcome to Roll and Review, where we talk about all things nerdy and awesome. I'm Jim, and again, we have our friend Damn It Joe.
Hey, how you guys doing?
So, Damn It Joe, we're doing another episode of Who Would Win?
The Vision versus Cyborg.
This time, we have 4 categories that we will be basing and qualifying each of our competitors on. First, physical capabilities. Second, intelligence. Third, weapon capabilities. And fourth, the mysterious X Factor. So physical capabilities. This one is so close, but we did give it to one person. We gave it to Vision. Joe, explain why we gave it to Vision.
Well,
what is it about Vision that makes him superior?
Well, it's funny because when you look at it, Vision and Cyborg have equal speed. They both have flight capabilities, generally about the same speed, roughly. It's very hard to determine that. But one thing Vision has over Cyborg is his strength. The dude is super strong. While Cyborg is very strong in himself, have a recorded maximum strength of 5 tons, Vision is just stronger.
At his densest, it maxes out at 50 tons. So that's 10 times the recorded strength of Cyborg. Some sources say that Cyborg could be stronger. He's just never been pushed to be stronger. Assuming he could be 10 times stronger than maximum is beyond obnoxious.
Definitely pushing it at that point.
Yeah. So clearly, Vision is stronger. Vision has the capability to change his density.
That is also very true.
Which is what allows him to fly. Essentially, he sheds off not critical matter of his body to some unknown dimension, and so in that, he sheds some off to allow him to pass through things. He can gain more mass from that same unknown dimension. Weigh about 90 tons, be 10 times as dense as depleted uranium, and allows him to hit and lift 50 tons.
Before we move on, though, I'm going to mention one thing. Cyborg hasn't really had official fighting training. While, yes, he knows a thing or two about fighting, which is why he is part of the League, Vision, on the other hand, was trained by Captain America, and he is still one of the best fighters in the Marvel Universe. And to be trained by that does give you a slight edge in hand-to-hand.
With not being human, being a machine, he perfectly retains Captain America's training, and so really is a master at hand-to-hand combat. On the other hand, yes, Victor Stone was an athlete. However, he definitely relies more on weaponry and his tech, and so just physically sways over to the Vision. But moving on from this, so clearly Vision wins physical capability. Moving on, though, intelligence. Joe, who did we say wins intelligence?
Oh my gosh, it was just a wash.
They are both very gifted. Obviously, the Vision has super intelligence. He is a super smart AI, but on the same token, Cyborg has an IQ of 170, which is ridiculously smart. If you don't know
Genius
anything,
level.
The average person has an IQ that ranges between 90 and 110, and he is 170, which is far beyond genius level. I know even 155 is considered genius. So, really the same when it comes to intelligence. They both hack. Vision has been known to hack into shield drones, random technology, since he's partially, if not completely made up of nanotechnology. He has been able to legitimately just go send his nanites into things to take them over, let alone the fact that he has wireless and direct access to pretty much any technology on the internet, and like Avengers computer, mainframe.
Then you got Cyborg.
Cyborg,
who for a long time was cooped up in the Watchtower, who had access to the Justice League's computer, which is the equivalent to the Bat computer. And the Bat computer in itself is ridiculously overflooding with information. But on another note, I'm going to use Injustice as a very good example. He has been known to hack into himself. Cyborg is an ever-evolving character in the DC universe who is constantly upgrading himself, his body, his weapons, everything. So to not only be able to hack into something else, but be able to hack into something that is forever evolving requires genius level of intellect.
Oh yeah, and both of these characters can do all of this while in the midst of a fight. And when we looked at it, it's a wash. They're basically have the same capabilities when it comes to intelligence. So, way to go, wash.
Woo!
It's over. Moving on to weapons. the way we did this, it wasn't just their weapon capabilities in general, it was specifically their weapon capabilities against the other. Because that makes a big difference, what the weapon is trying to attack. We gave the edge to Cyborg in this one.
Really, when we looked at Vision, he only had, aside from physical combat, one weapon, and that was the jewel on his forehead, which also serves as his battery. Now, what he can do is he can fire off a beam from his forehead to do massive, massive damage. However, that drains him of his power and could possibly shut him down if overused. And then you got Cyborg, who is a walking armory.
His armory includes, but is not limited to, because you have to remember, Cyborg is an ever-evolving person, and he himself just randomly finds things that he can do that he couldn't do before. He has his sonic cannon, which is what we really all know Cyborg for. He has an EMP called Heart Attack. He can disable any electronics within 50 meters of him. And we even know through the newest All New All Different Avengers in the fight against Hank Pym / Ultron, EMPs were effective against both Ultron and Vision. And so this heart attack, this EMP blast, would in fact be extremely detrimental to Vision.
Especially because when he uses that EMP blast, it doesn't actually affect him.
Yeah, it doesn't shut him down himself. He is still capable of using it. Weapon-wise, I guess you could consider this too. The fact that really Cyborg as a weapon can use boom tubes. He can move this battle wherever the heck he wants to go.
For those of you that don't know, the boom tube is a tool used by Darkseid to teleport anywhere he wants to go.
It's an extra-dimensional point-to-point travel portal. Cyborg doesn't like to use this. It's kind of like, oh, it's 1 out of every 1,000 times he uses it, he ends up teleporting everything to Apocalypse. Where like Darkseid lives, and it's not a good place for them to be. One thing on the sonic cannons, though, because here's a question we really had to discuss in depth. Could the sonic cannon hit Vision when he goes intangible? And there's been a lot of discussion on this.
So much.
It's legitimately been insane. How much we had to discuss, how much we had to figure out about how each one of these things works. And the fact that, in fact, while Vision is intangible, he can still hear things, which means sound waves are still having an effect on the molecules that are still remaining in the world. Which means a sonic cannon, which amplifies sound to a ridiculous point.
At a fixed point.
Especially on a fixed point. Just like the sound of that sound amplification too would also hit Vision. And in fact, with the way Vision sheds off material, he sheds off all the not critical material. So what's left when he's intangible is critical material.
Mm-hmm.
So really, if he can hear things, sound waves can hit him, so Cyborg's weapon can hit him. It happens to be the most critical parts of Vision.
And also, I know you touched on it earlier, how his defenses are able to stop, the energy attacks such as Vision's gem ray from his forehead. Let's also not forget that he can take a physical punch. The dude can go toe-to-toe with the likes of Superman, Doomsday, Darkseid, and still get up and go back for round 2.
The Cyborg being able to take punches from people like that really just gives some credence to the weaponry, the attacks that Vision will be able to throw at him. Won't really be able to overcome in a grand amount the kind of armament defense capabilities of Cyborg. Weaponry, going to Cyborg, that brings us down to our X Factor. Now, one thing's humanity. That's why our X Factor goes to Cyborg. Humanity holds within it a certain power, and it's this will. A will to survive, a will to continuously do better, which allows them to at times exceed their natural physical capabilities. While Vision has free will, where he can act freely, he has choices that he can make. He is his own person. He lacks this human will that in a moment of possible defeat, Cyborg has an advantage because of his humanity to overcome and go beyond his physical capabilities. So you had an example of this from the show?
There was an episode long time ago where Cyborg had to fight a particular character who was just so much stronger than him, could beat him at every turn, and it seemed like he just couldn't beat him. And he actually had a sit down with Robin. While they're talking back and forth, Cyborg's like, I can't beat him. He is just too strong. I'm only limited to what I can do. And Robin was the one that sat him down and said, no, here's the thing. You are human on the inside. You can do things that he can't do. You have the power to overcome. You can push yourself beyond the limits. You are not limited to your programming.
Thus, our X Factor goes to Cyborg, which, if you're counting at home, that makes our winner Cyborg.
Woo!
Woohoo! Really, when it comes down to it, the physical ability is great. That Vision has that, but with the wash and intelligence and the weaponry of Cyborg being able to overcome a lot of the physical capabilities of Vision, plus the X Factor to continuously push beyond what is naturally possible for him, Cyborg will come out with a win. So, if you like this video, please hit that like button down below. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. We'll keep you updated. If you want to see what we're doing in between videos, or you have other ideas for what we could do for Who Would Win videos, let us know at Twitter, down in the comments, or on our Facebook page. All links to all those will be down in the description below. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next time.